fellow crocheters, it's Janet with CrochetPatternsForBeginners.com and Barb's Daughter Designs on Etsy. Thanks so much for stopping by today. We are going to learn how to make a tassel. In a previous video, I had shown you how to close up something that wasn't crocheted by increasing or decreasing in the round. Well, I had mentioned that this was from our Remington cocoon and hat pattern. I'm sorry, it was the wrong name. This is the Tate. This is our Tate pattern. So that being said, we are going to learn how to make tassels today. The Tate cocoon and hat does have tassel accents, which are optional. If you don't like it, just don't put it on. I kind of like tassels. I like pom-poms. I like different things. But I also like the option to make it either minimalistic or add, your own little accent to it. So what you're going to need in order to do this, to add it to the Tate, is the Tate hat, which is right here, and we close that in a different video. You're going to need a yarn needle. You're going to need a pair of scissors, and you're going to need, for the hat, a chain that's been fastened off of 22 with an F hook. All right. And also, you're going to need a tassel maker. Now, I got these. These are Busilla by Plaid, and I got these just right at Walmart. It was no big deal. There's different makers that make them. I just like these because they came in one thing. They were very affordable. I can't remember the price, but there's 3 sizes here. There's a 2-inch, there's a 3-inch, and there's a 4-inch. If they have them on Amazon, I'll just post a link to that so that people can get this kind if they want. If not, most tassel makers are pretty much the same. Okay, today we're going to go with the 3-inch tassel. I'm sorry, excuse me, this is a baby hat, so probably the 2-inch tassel just for the hat. This is the 3-inch, and I actually use this for the bottom of the cocoon. But we're just going to go ahead and make a 2-inch today. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to want to do is, like I said, decide which one you want, and then you're going to lay this down and try to center it as best you can. It's flat right now, so that's easier said than done, but you're holding it up in the air kind of, so you're going to want to make sure that, it's pretty much centered, and then you can hold it with your thumb when you go to do it. Also, too, I'm sorry to say, I mentioned you're going to need some yarn, and I'm just guessing here, but probably about, I don't know, maybe 10 or 15 yards at the most. So if you have a scrap or, what have you, just go ahead and grab that. Now, let's get started. Okay, so all you do, it's just so crazy, but all you do is just, and you don't always have to put this chain on here, but this is just what's going to attach it. And we can move it a little bit later. It is a little awkward winding the yarn, but it's just too hard to get it. I made the first one without doing this, and it really was kind of a disaster. I had to take a yarn needle and just sort of poke it through the center to get it going, but that's okay. This is going to look more professional when we do it this way. So like I said, just get it centered up there, your chain, and you can move this after, so it's not a big deal. All right, let's just go ahead, and all you have to do is just wind it. Maybe if we go like that, it'll be easier. Wind it around. And don't worry about that tail, it's okay. Just pull that out of there. There. Once you get it started, it's not so hard. It's just the tail does kind of get in the way, but you have to leave it over to the side like that. So you're just every now and then going to catch that tail and just pull it out. It's all right. But we don't want this one to be too thick. But just go with what you like. I don't like things to look cheap, so I think if you are sparse with your winding, then your tassel's going to look cheap. And like I said, it is a little more work to do it this way, but in the long run, you're going to be so much happier with the winding. And don't wind it really too super tight. That's not going to work. It needs to be not loose, not hanging. You can see it's not really super loose, but it's loose enough to cut comfortably, and so it's that. And before we cut, I want to mention too that you're definitely going to want a sharp pair of scissors to cut this. If you have a dull pair of scissors, you're going to get frustrated really quick, so we don't want to do that. Sorry about the camera there, guys. All right, this looks like it's just about enough to get it to where we want it. And then what you want to do is where you're going to cut it, that's where you want to end. So if you're going to cut it up here, then end up here. You're going to cut it down here and down here. All right, so I'm going to cut mine here. Okay, all right. And again, it might have been easier if I just would have taken this off the ring, but I'm just too lazy to do that. It's just silly. This is how I keep things organized and keep them all together. Okay, so what we're going to want to do is this is going to be the back. And we're just going to want to tie this, not tightly, just kind of loosely so that we have a good sense of that it's gathered. Because this is actually going to go, when we cut it, we're going to pull this up to the top. So let's just go ahead and cut it. I said we were going to cut it down here, and that's what we were going to do. Just go ahead, and again, you need a sharp pair of scissors. If you have a dull pair of scissors, you're not going to like this at all. Okay, and then just slide off the tassel. Now what we're going to do is we've got it there in the center. So I'm going to take this. And now we've got a tassel. However, we didn't wrap it. And there's a reason for that. I didn't want to wrap it where it was up here because I needed to have this to attach it. So that's okay. We're just going to go ahead and we're going to wrap it here. Now, this is the part that you want to wrap really tight. And again, if you want to make it and you don't want to put the chain on it and all that stuff, that's up to you. Then you could wrap it while it was here. But again, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to have a little bit more control of it so that I could just move this up a little bit because I wanted the tails to be longer than this head part right here. Okay, all right, so give it a cut. And then all you have to do is just take this and you're going to weave it. Going to thread it with your yarn needle, just like you would any other time. Okay. And then just what you want to do is, again, there's going to be one side that's kind of the back, but you can hide this pretty well. Just pull it really tight. See how tight I'm pulling it? You've got to pull it tight. Okay, and then just go back in. Pop it through the head of the tassel. Alright. That's pretty secure. So we're just going to cut it. And then we're going to give them a little trim here. So that when we have a nice, neat looking tassel. It's kind of like giving it a haircut. Alright. Okay, now what we want to do is I've got my F hook right here, so that's perfectly fine, even though this was crocheted with an I. We're just going to take and we're going to grab our tassel here. We're right in the center. Okay, see how that is? We just want a nice little tassel, but we kind of want it to dangle a little bit. Thus the 21. If you don't want it to dangle as much, just pull it in a little bit. I personally think it's cute, just dangling like that. Okay, so now we just want to secure it. Go ahead and just give it a tie here. And then just go ahead and just in these top portions though, because I don't want this gray to show on the hat. So we don't want that. So go ahead and just pick up a couple of the loops that are on the bottom. And you can finish that by securing it, then weaving the tails, and you're done. And that's how you make a nice little tassel. Thanks for stopping by. If you'd like to check out our Tate cocoon and hat pattern, run over to myhandmadebaby.com or Barb's Daughter Designs on Etsy and pick up the pattern. Thanks, guys.